He was supposed to announce a contract extension. Instead, Richard Childress stood at a microphone in Michigan and compared what he's feeling right now to the worst moment in NASCAR history. What he said about Kyle Busch, about his legacy, and about the future of the number 8 is something every NASCAR fan needs to hear. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started and we're pushing for our next subscriber milestone. It's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. Richard Childress is 80 years old. He has seen more of NASCAR than almost any living person on this planet. He built his team in 1969. He lived through the golden era of Dale Earnhardt. He stood on pit road at Daytona in 2001 when the unthinkable happened. And now he's living through something that feels just as devastating. Standing at Michigan International Speedway on Saturday, Childress addressed the media publicly for the first time since Kyle Busch passed away on May 21st. Busch died after severe pneumonia progressed into sepsis. And the racing world has not been the same since. But here's the thing. Childress wasn't there to grieve. At least, that wasn't why he came. He had gone to Michigan to announce a contract extension for Busch. He came with good news, plans for the future, confidence in what was coming next. However, there was one problem. Everything changed. Instead of celebrating the future, he stood there and told the world what he had lost. You lose two of the greatest drivers that's ever driven a car in NASCAR, and to have to go through it again, Childress said. I haven't slept very good lately. Think about that for a moment. Two of the greatest. Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Busch, both gone, both from RCR. You want to talk about a weight that a man carries? That's it right there. And what makes this even heavier is what happened just before everything unraveled. Childress had spoken to Kyle the night before he was hospitalized. Kyle had become unresponsive while testing in the Chevrolet Racing Simulator in Concord, North Carolina. His death certificate cited hemorrhagic shock and disseminated intravascular coagulation. He was only 41 years old. Now, some people forget that Kyle was in the middle of a long drought, 105 cup races without a win. But the story wasn't over, not even close. What happened next surprised everyone. He had just finished a season-best 8th at Watkins Glen after a crew chief change. The momentum was building, the confidence was returning. And according to Childress, the conversations about bringing him back in the number 8 next year were very real. In fact, Childress recalled the exact words Kyle said to him. He said, "You give me cars like you gave me the last 3 weeks, I will make the chase this year." We were that confident. That's not a man who's done. That's not someone preparing to walk away. That's a competitor, fired up, hungry, ready to remind everyone exactly who he was. But here's the thing that really stopped me. This wasn't just about racing, and that's when everything changed. Childress talked about hunting trips with Kyle and his 11-year-old son, Brexton. He talked about watching father and son race together at a dirt track near Charlotte. He talked about the conversations they shared about Brexton's future, about what the Busch family was building together. Talking to Kyle at different times, knowing his plans and what he had in the future for Brexton and his family, Childress said. The many things that we all could have done together, that was probably the toughest part of this whole thing. That right there isn't a car owner talking about a driver. That's a man talking about a friend he never expected to lose. And now, there's another question hanging over RCR. What happens to the number 8? RCR has switched to the number 33. Austin Hill has been driving Kyle's former car for the past 2 races. Childress confirmed Hill will remain in that ride for the rest of the season. But then something unexpected happened. Childress revealed that RCR is protecting the number 8, holding it, preserving it for Brexton Busch, Kyle's son. Even if Brexton eventually races for another team, Childress says they want that number saved for his possible Cup career. Think about that, an 11-year-old kid and an 80-year-old team owner, connected by the memory of the same man holding on to a number because of what it represents. And when the conversation turned to Kyle's legacy, Childress didn't hesitate, not for a second. Kyle will go down in history as one of the greatest race drivers that's ever been, he said. His legacy is that he was a man that a lot of people thought he was tough to deal with and that he wouldn't last long. He is a man that loves his sport. He loved it so much he wanted to see his family carry on in it. To see the enjoyment in Kyle's eyes watching his son race was just unbelievable. That's how Childress wants people to remember him, not just as a champion, not just as a winner, but as a father who loved racing and wanted his family to carry that passion forward. And that's not all. Childress also believes Busch should go directly into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The 2027 class was elected last month. Kyle wasn't part of it. Childress says that needs to change. 2 Cup championships, 60 Xfinity wins, one of the most talented drivers this sport has ever seen. And a father who poured everything into his son's future in racing, that's who Kyle Busch was, and Richard Childress, a man who has weathered more heartbreak than most people could imagine. Is carrying all of it right now? It's never easy, he said. They just gave me a little bit of time to get my head right. The man built a dynasty, lost Earnhardt, we built, and now he's being forced to do it all over again. But RCR isn't done, Childress isn't done, and somewhere on a dirt track near Charlotte, an 11-year-old named Brexton is carrying forward his father's love for this sport. So here's the question I want to leave you with today, and I want you to drop your answer in the comments below. Should NASCAR waive the standard eligibility rules and put Kyle Busch in the Hall of Fame immediately? Or should he go through the normal process like everyone else? Because that debate is heating up, and I want to hear where NASCAR Nation stands. If this story meant something to you, hit that like button, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News if you haven't already. We cover this sport the way fans deserve, with passion, with honesty, and with respect for every driver who ever strapped in. NASCAR Nation News, real talk, every week.